Yeah, AG, what was your message to the team in terms of like as they go into this part of the offseason now and preparing for for when training camp does start in July?
Yeah, so there were a number of terms and phrases that I went back from phase one all the way into a vet mini camp that I thought were key phrases or terms that I wanted those guys, that I want to reiterate with those guys. And I pointed those things out to those guys because I want them to get away from it. But once they do get back to it, let's make sure we focus on these terms and phrases that we talked about throughout the offseason. Then once we get back into training camp, I really want to define exactly what the messaging would be in training camp. And I didn't go too much into that because I want those guys to really focus on those terms and phrases that we talked about. And then once we get into training camp, man, we'll really break down those things that we talked about at that point. So we talked in depth about those things, and then we'll let the players out.
Just AG, spinning it forward to training camp, could you describe, I mean, is it going to be different from last year? How it might be different from last year's camp and the tone you're trying to set this year? Is it going to be different structurally? I know last year you did a lot of hitting, emphasizing tackling. Is it going to be pretty much, a repeat of that, or you got some new wrinkles in store for?
Yeah, some new wrinkles. I'm a big fan of not having the same thing over. I want to be able to shock the player's system of doing things different. And sometimes those things can happen, at the spur of the moment, because I see exactly how the team is operating that day. So I don't want to sit here and just say, okay, we're going to be this, and that. The only thing I want to do is say, listen, we're going to work our ass off. There's some things that I want to make sure that I emphasize as far as competitive stamina I think we've talked about before. There's some things about being intentional on how we practice and the situations that we want to practice. I will continue to do that, but I don't want practice to get to a point to where it's redundant, to where it's just, okay, the players get in this zone to where, okay, man, we're going to do this. No, I'm always shock the system somehow. Those are some things that we'll do as we get to training camp.
AG, how much progress do you feel like the organization has made, since January? The roster building, everything that you and Mooj, when you guys sat down after Buffalo, after the exit interviews, when you said this is what we need to do this offseason, how much progress do you feel like you've made?
I think we made a ton of progress. And I would go back from right after the season and me evaluate myself, the things that I want to get better at, the things that I want to do, the direction I want this team and organization to go in. And then right after that, we got into free agency. And as we talked about this, I love the players that we brought in. Everything was intentional as far as what type of players that we want to bring in, and then going to the draft and all the work that was put in the draft. And again, Mooj and his staff of giving me the information that I need to be able to look at all the players that we want to get, and then for us to come out of the draft with the players that we actually fell in love with. And then going from that to rookie minicamp to our off-season program. And again, I like exactly where we're at, again, but between myself and the players, this is just not me, myself and the players, we want to get to the point that we love exactly where we're at. And we know that takes time. And we'll see that happen as we get into training camp.
Have you seen enough from the backup quarterbacks this spring to make you feel confident that one of them could be your number 2 this year?
Well, I would say this. We're always going to create competition when it comes to that. And the thing is, we had Bailey, who's been around this league for a long time. He's won some games. We have Cook that was with us last year, who's still a rookie, who's still developing, who was a second-year player, and he's still developing. And then we had Cade, who was doing a really good job, until he was out with the back. And he was going to get a chance to practice today to see exactly where he was going to be at. So I would say this. Those guys are going to continue to compete. I will never sit here at this time of the year and say, okay, this guy's going to be our backup quarterback. Guys, we have training camp to go through, so I think I've said that before. Those guys are going to compete and see who actually comes out with that fight.
AG, do you like that balance on the roster of youth and then adding these veterans in the offseason? Did you see the influences already of DeMario, Gino, Minka, guys like that paying off inside the locker room? Like, what kind of impressions are they having on this group?
Yeah, and again, that was one of the things that we were very intentional about as far as bringing in guys that's been around, that's played at a high level, and not just played at a high level, but has led at a high level. So yes, I'm extremely happy with the amount of youth that we have. I think we were the second youngest team in the league last year, and then bringing in a number of veterans that's been there, done that, but not just that, but also been really good players in this league and understand what it takes to win and how to win. So it was very intentional of trying to create that. But not just that in itself, but bringing in good players that's going to help elevate this franchise to where it needs to be.
AG, we focus on the players, obviously, but this stretch, particularly the last 2 days and then leading up to it, for you as a coach, getting out there on the field with, guys like Frank Reich and Duker and kind of building that on-field coaching rapport, how important has this stretch been for you, kind of getting to know these guys on the field too?
Yeah. Well, I've known both of those guys for a long time. Obviously, Duke was with me in Detroit for a number of years, so that relationship was already there. Frank, as far as just knowing exactly who he is as a man, the personal part of it I knew really, really well. But then again, as I got a chance to understand him as a coach, man, that just I got more excited, when you see how detailed he is. Just his mentality on allowing the players to be themselves, as far as the instinctual part of it, but also making sure they're disciplined as far as what they do. So it's been important to make sure that we do that, but we just don't do it on the field. We also do that in meeting rooms to make sure that we're all on the same page.
Take a couple more.
AG, what have you seen from David Bailey this spring, since you guys drafted him, and
Yeah.
what's going to be the most important thing for him in his first training camp?
Yeah, so I think David has grown quite a bit. Obviously, the thing that I think we all know that stands out is his first step quickness and his ability to rush the passer. Obviously, we don't have pads on, so the physical part of it we just couldn't see, but we do know this. The way that he strikes the bag, his length, how strong he is. Again, he's 250-some pounds. I have no worries about, anything else about his weaknesses, because I know he's going to work his ass off to be able to get better at those things. So listen, I'm looking forward to this player. Man, he's going to be a damn good player for us. I think Dunbar and Cam has done a really good job of coaching him out there, and he's very receptive to the coaching too. So he's going to be a good player for us.
What do
Last
you
one
do
here.
in the next 6 weeks, Aaron? What do you get away at all, or what does Aaron Glenn do for fun during this break?
It's funny because I was just talking about that with a couple other gentlemen. Listen, I have this tendency, and I got this from my dad. My dad passed years ago, but my dad was a workaholic. That's what he did. Should I have 10 brothers and sisters, and my mom never worked. So all I see my dad do was work. So I actually took on that trait of being a workaholic. But my wife does a really good job of trying to get me balanced and making sure I have things outside of football to create a hobby. So I'll golf, and then I'll go to the country, man, and just hang out and mess with horses and do things like that. So that's my happy place.